Morning. Good morning, colleagues. Muloni Samuel, working with science, technology, and innovation. And for all of you who have been funded and you've received communication where the parliamentary committee is asking for a budget, the Sti-Op grants budget performance report. And we've received a couple of calls from some of you who wanted some kind of support towards this exercise. First of all, I want to bring all of you at home that this is exactly similar to what you've submitted in during the time of the approval of your projects. Now, as you are aware, the funding from STI is annual. So these templates will be filled in annually. If you've gotten money this year, you'll fill in this year, last year, and then the other year, you'll be filling in for those who have been with STI for longer. On this particular template, which I'm sharing, the name of the host institution, this will be the institution like Makerere University, like Churad, like Busitama University. The institution where the money was sent is where you put the name of the host institution. Then the name of the project here, the name of the host institution, you'll put it here. Then name of the project, this is the project that you submitted in. It could be cassava value addition. It could be anything in the pathogen economy. Whatever the name of the project is what you put in here. Now, this is a financial report indicating the income and the expenditure. If you got your budgets, which were approved, in those budgets, you put in different cost items. For example, personnel, you had the PI, co-PI, all the different staff whom you have on your budget. And this is open. You can go on the side here, you right click, and then left click, and then a draw bar indicating insert is there, and you press insert, and it will add you more rows just in case you need any. It is open, you can add more rows to accommodate the number of the personnel that you have. So when they talk of personnel number one, you don't put personnel number one. You indicate the title of that personnel, either PI or co-PI or the secretary or M&E specialist or whatever, the title that is in your budget. And the number of the people, you'll have to put them here, all of them. And as you remember, there was a budget for the PI, which was approved, and then a budget for the co-PI. You continue like that, filling in this column where we have the approved budget. And surely, if you look at your budget, this figure here, this column where there's funds released, the approved budget is exactly the same as the funds released. So in your case, the figures which you put in the approved budget, correlate with the figures which you receive under the funds released. So the funds released here refers to released from STI. That's what you received. So this column of funds released refers to the funds that you received, which should be exactly the same as what was approved in the budget. Now, here in column E, where there's the total expenditure, how much did you pay for the whole year? We are looking at this expenditure for the whole year, and you'll have put here the financial report of income and expenditure for the financial year 2020, 2021, or 2021, 2022, depending on the year that you are reporting on. Now, this means that if you've received funds for 2 years, you'll fill this 2 of these documents. But the only difference here, you'll be putting particular financial year that you are referring to, and then the approved budget you fill in as per the budget that you have, which at the end of it down, when we get to the total here, this total must be equal to the amount that you received from STI. And then this will be, when you are submitting this, it will be backed up by evidence. The evidences are 2. Number 1 is the bank statement indicating the amount that was received on the bank statement. And then number 2, a copy of the acknowledgement letter that you sent. You'll attach those onto this document here. And of the funds that you received, total expenditure is C, column C, and as, for example, the PI, and then how much did you receive in this, I mean, how much did you pay for its annual? So the figures that you put here under this total expenditure here, you sum up the amounts that you paid per month to the CPI and the total, this is the total expenditure, which is in C. And then here, in the event that you paid less than the amount which was approved on the budget, now we have already, is what we call the variance. The difference between what was approved in the budget and then what you spent is what you put here as the variance, and then you put comments. This can happen in the event that, for example, the accountant, I'm giving that as an example, you had the accountant in your budget for a full year, but you recruited the accountant or any staff whom you recruited midway. That means that this staff here, you will earn less than what was approved in the budget because the staff did not consume for the whole year because it was brought on board later on. And then you give that statement in the comments. And but in a situation where the approved budget for a given individual is more than what you paid, so that's what you'll reflect here, and you'll give reasons for that. However, that one I need to caution you that for you to change salaries from what was approved in the budget will cause an audit query for you. And you have no way of hiding this because it will be reflected within the bank statement. I would strongly urge you that don't try to falsify figures in this document because at the end of the day, your bank statement will be reporting something different from what you are indicating here. Try to be as honest as possible. It is safer for you to explain why you paid someone more than what was allocated than trying to forge the figures. Now, when we come to equipment, again, within your budget lines, here you indicate how much you spent on equipment. Now, in that one there, it is normal for you to spend either more or less of what was approved within the budget. For example, it's not easy to predict how much a computer will cost or a laptop or whatever that is the equipment that you bought. The approved budget could have been 10 million, or let me say 1 million. And then you buy the equipment at 1.2 or 1.5. That one is understandable because prices keep on fluctuating and varying from what you had budgeted for. It could also be less, and that is normal. But should the cost of any particular expense go beyond 10% of what was budgeted for in the approved budget, then you should have sought a waiver or a lease to enable you to spend more than 10% of the approved budget. And that one, you need to do it. In the event that you have fallen a culprit, it is good, and to be honest, you communicate officially that in this one you spent more than 10% of what was approved, and you get a clearance for that, or else you will be asked to refund the money, which is over and above what was approved. And again here, in the event that you bought more equipment than the rows which are provided, I repeat, you click on your left click, and then right click, then a drawbar comes in with the insert, and then you insert that, and the row is inserted for you to fill in all that is required. The same will apply for the supplies and reagents. In here, you do the same. The supplies and reagents, you fill in following that same format. Now, let me first continue. You are aware that we had a costs under office setup, which we called office setup. Now, just in case in your budget you did not have a direct cost or direct word cost setup. So cost setup involves expenses which were incurred during the establishment of the office or office furniture and the rest. You put them under here, under the office setup. Some of you incur the costs of construction, modeling, and the rest. Those budgets, you include them in this row. Local travel, the same, which I think it should be easy for you to extrapolate from the vouchers or a cash analysis book how much you spent on the local travel. But the first thing, before you even go on to analyze, let me make this simple for you. Get your approved budget. Fill in everything as it is in your approved budget. Before you look at the funds released, total expenditure, first fill in the approved budget. And from there, it will guide you on how to sum up the total expenditures here. I repeat, the total approved budget is exactly the same, the funds which were released in our case. I'm not aware of any innovator whose budget was approved at let's say 100 million, and he ended up receiving 30 or less. If there is any of that case, then it will be unique. Still fill it in that way. Otherwise, to the best of my knowledge, the total approved budget is the total monies that you received under B. So first fill in the total approved budget, up to down. From there, then you begin looking at the expenditure. It will make your life very, very easy, and within a short time, you will have completed this document here. Now, international travel, you also include the same. In total, the total amount spent on international travel. Then when you reach the point of others, under others, you will have to put rows there below others, so that when you say others, you don't just put a block figure others. You have to explain these others refer to what. You give a breakdown of the other expenses. Now, with others, it may not be in your budget. So the budget line here will be 0, but then you will be spending. However, for that to happen, that means that in some of the cost centers of the approved budget, or to simplify the language, some of the activities which are in the approved budget, it means that you spent less. And then that money is that's where you got the monies which you spent under others. I hope I'm very clear on this. Otherwise, if you got 10 million and above there on the approved budget, you spent everything 100%, then you will not have any other extra money that is spent under others. The overhead costs is straight. This is money you got, and then you paid it to the institution, which is covering you. At the end of the day, your total of the budget received, which is the same total of the approved budget, which is the same total as the budget, the money you received, will be now less the expenditure. After that, the balance which you will be left with here should be in agreement with the balance which is on the bank statement as at the end of that given financial year, which also should be reflected on your bank statement. I'm aware that some of you who are under other bigger institutions, like Makerere University or other universities, there are several other funds within this same bank account. And I'm also aware that most of these government institutions, they do not allow them to open several bank accounts. So that figure may not be reflected on their bank statement because the bank statement has other funds. But the authorities of the institution now, as we get down, when you indicate a balance of, say, 10 million at this point here, then the finance or the accountant who has prepared this will put his name, the title, the signature, and the date. Then the internal audit of the institution where the money was sent will have to append their signatures, and then approved by the host institution. This must be a person who is authorized to sign on behalf of the institution. And then finally, at the end here, the PI or the venture leader signs to affirm that the information that is being reflected here is true and correct. Now, if you have been getting money for, say, 2 or 3 years, you get this same document and copy it on another sheet. For example, before you fill in at the bottom here, you can add another sheet or even add another one. I hope you are seeing. At the bottom where there is the word sheet 1, sheet 2, sheet 3, there is a plus sign. You just click on this plus sign and another sheet opens. So sheet 1, you can rename it. When you right click and then left click, a drawbar comes in with the word rename. After I've clicked rename, then I say financial year FY 2021/22. And you can click anywhere else. It remains there. So you copy this whole document from, you click there and then left click, you say copy. And then you go to financial year, the next sheet. Again, you click at that point and paste. All that information has come. You do the same to the third sheet in the event that you have gotten money 3 times. You do the same and then you paste. Now, after you've filled in this the financial year 2021, 2022, sorry, let me rename it. Rename 2021, slash or dash 2022. The next sheet will be, again, you click rename 2022-23, and it is renamed there. Now, you will have finished the first year of 2021-22. You still have your blank document, which again you are filling for the financial year 2022-2023, and you'll be following the same. So it's at this point here. Of course, the host institution will remain the same, name of the project the same. Now, financial reporting year, you click here, and then you enter the financial year. Even after the authorities have appended their signature on the first document, in the second one also, it will be the same. And then on top of the document, there's a financial year. It's already there. But if it is disturbing you to enter it, you only click under cell A3. When you click on under cell A3, where I've clicked here, and then you look on top, the financial year comes in. So you click after FY and you enter the year. It comes in straight. Remember now we're on 2022, 2023. So you just type in 2022-23 and you press enter. It has come there on top. You do the same for the different years as the manners come in. And still you have the different authorities append their signatures and even stamp on these documents. Surely, if you've been keeping your books correctly, this shouldn't take you a very long time. If in the event that you are having any trouble, my phone numbers are 0772 52 5326. I repeat that, 0772 52 5326. For those on under Airtel, 0701 52 5326. I repeat that too, 0701 52 5326. Please, I encourage you to attach maximum priority and importance to this work that it deserves, or else you'll find yourself instead being called to face the Parliamentary Accounts Committee, and who may not ask you in a very, very friendly manner. Given the importance that STI attaches to this, I'm available from 7:30 in the morning, AM, up to 10 PM, 10 in the night. You can call me on those numbers and I'll be available to attend to you. But of course, I encourage that you do this during daytime. But I'm aware some of you may be traveling, and in the event that you come very late, my phones will be on. Under very exceptional circumstances, my phones, you can call me up to midnight, I will attend to you, but that would be under very exceptional circumstances, really. I would strongly recommend that you do this work right now. And I'm aware that given the large number of innovators we have funded, you'll find most of the time my phone engaged. For example, this time, supposing I was going through one innovator, you'll be calling all this time and is showing engaged. Don't be frustrated. Just know that it will be because someone else is calling for assistance. You try again and again until it goes through, and I'll be available to help you. Again, I'm saying, don't call me before you attempt to do the work. Try to fill it in this document until where you feel that you are getting stuck. It becomes easier for you to understand and to follow this, other than just calling me before you try to fill it in. There it will even be more difficult for you. Now, when you've inserted, there's this SN number. In the event that you've inserted in another row, it becomes imperative that you fill in now the numbers. If it's 1. We began with 1.1, 1.2. Don't forget to fill in these numbers, just to ensure that you are meticulous with the work that you are doing. Thank you very much. I hope this helps you in anywhere you get stranded. Now the variance is clear. It is A minus C. For those of you who know, who be very good with Excel, now let me explain this. Click in C. When your cursor is in C, you press equals A minus C. This one, oh, sorry. Let me repeat. It picked another figure. You click equals in that cell where the variance is, equals A minus C, and press enter. When you pressed enter, you can now drag down. You put your cursor there, it turns positive, and you drag all the way down up to the end. You'll have already put a formula there, such that when we say, as an example, approved budget is 10. Total expenditure is 8. And you press enter, it automatically gives you a 2 as a variance. However, if the approved budget was 10, but you spent 12, no, let me say you spent 15, and you press enter, it will show you that you overspent by 5 shillings, which you explain later. Even this one where you had a balance, you explain why that balance is there. This is simply to clear off any other query that a person would have asked for. Thank you very much. I'm going to another sheet, which is where I'm also going to share with you. Thank you.